Well, no doubt over the last couple of decades, the power of America's growing Latino vote has become a major kingmaker in American politics. How's that going to factor in for 2024? We have the guy to answer that question. Ipsos Public Affairs President Cliff Young's back here up late with me tonight on the Final Five. Good to see you, my friend.
It's great to be
Welcome
here.
back in. Give me a sense here, because I know, especially going back to George W. Bush in 2000, where he really made a concerted effort to resonate with the Latino community, and it has been a growing subset of our body politic.
Yeah, it's a large constituency. Today it represents 19% of the population, and it could very well, that is, the Latino sort of vote could very well define the elections.
So clearly we bring in Cliff because we have research, we have facts, we have data, so let's get right to it. Some recent polling done by Ipsos, namely, inflation is top of mind among Latinos. So this is something we've talked about, economic issues. But when you look at this, what stands out to you is surprising or unsurprising? No,
I think it's key. It's inflation, it's inflation, it's inflation. It's seriously affected Latinos. And what we're going to see in the data when we look at the rest of the polling is that that's really clouded or affected their view on politics.
What I think is interesting about this list here is when you hear Democrats going into this election cycle really playing up abortion-related issues. And when you look at this, that is way down there on the list at only 10%.
Yeah, that is not their key issue. Indeed, like I said, it was inflation, crime and violence, especially in urban areas, immigration. They sit on both sides of the issue, to be quite frank. Political extremism and polarization is the #1 issue in the United States today, but not among Latinos.
So this really gives credence to that idea that, and I've used this term, I used it last night, I've used it many times. For a lot of politicians, it's the economy, stupid. That's what you have to focus on, because that's what resonates with people. What's in their pocketbook?
Well, for Latinos.
Yeah.
But without a doubt.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at some of the other information we have from this poll conducted in partnership with Telemundo. Among Latinos, Biden plummets in favorability. Trump sees slight increase since 2021. When people go back, Cliff, to 2016, 2015 even, when Donald Trump came down that escalator and he said what he said about Mexico, and people thought, well, it's game over for him. Clearly, that was never the case.
No, that was not the case. Obviously, he won.
Yeah.
But when we're looking at this year specifically, and over the last few years, this is an inflation effect. That is, Biden's sort of slippage with Latino voters is a function of the pocketbook, of the inability of Latinos, and many of them, to make ends meet. And obviously, Trump gains from that.
So when I look down at this end here, you just have this precipitous change where you have a 3% gain for Trump and a 6% drop for Biden between June of 2023 and March of 2024. That's pretty seismic.
Yeah, and that's why the numbers are the way they are.
Yeah.
That's why Biden is weak and Trump is stronger right now.
All right, let's take a look at the other data here. Some hardline immigration policies have become more popular among Latinos. This is, I think, a lot of people who maybe, especially the ones who aren't paying attention to the issue that much, this might be a surprise, but for people who follow it, maybe it's not.
Yeah, I mean, look at building a wall or a fence. Support for that is only going up among Latinos from 30 to 42%. Sending all undocumented immigrants in the U.S. back to their original country, their country of origin, 28% to 38%. And the question is, why is this happening? And, you know, Latinos are affected by the border issues as well. And so the border issues, the crossings on the border, the precipitous increase in the number of illegal immigrants affects Latinos' view of things as well.
All right, let's take a look at the Latinos by far prefer Trump when it comes to the economy. So let's get back. This is the issue that you mentioned off the top here, where we are seeing that major difference here.
Yeah, well, take a look here. When it comes to the economy, Trump trounces Biden. 42% of Latinos pick Trump as being stronger in the economy, only 20% for Biden. That's a seismic difference, right? That's a huge difference, 22-point difference. And really, once again, it's about the economy and inflation.
When you look at this number here, though, about the idea of what party best handles the economy, when we look at names, it's one thing. When you look at parties, that's a different one, because you're almost seeing these almost on par with each other.
Yeah, this is sort of like independent of the individuals running, how do parties do? Typically, Republicans do better than Democrats. Really, they're tied here. That's actually good news for Biden, because as things improve, he might improve ultimately with Latinos.
All right, and one more to talk about here when it comes to Trump doing better among Latinos compared to 2020. So I made that reference to 2016, but you know, we're not used to having presidential candidates run through 3 different cycles here. So much has changed since 2016, but when you look at these numbers right here, this really shows the shift in sentiment here.
Yeah, just take a look. It's very clear. Take a look at the red. You know, 15% of Latinos said they would vote for Trump in 2020, and that goes up to 28% now. Once again, why is that happening? It's about inflation. Trump is much stronger on the economy and inflation than Biden, and that's really Biden's Achilles heel.
So I've asked you this before, and now we are months away from the election at this point. This is when we really start. Is this when we start seeing the trends solidify a bit, or can anything happen between now and November?
Yeah, we have a few more months, but the trends will begin to sort of like stabilize. Yeah. And so this is worrisome for Biden and the Biden campaign.
All right. Well, we're going to follow that. Of course, much more of the Pulse of the People. Cliff Young, great to see you again, my friend.
It's awesome to see you.
Take care. Final
Thanks.
Five is back right after this.